2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Code S Round of 16.
We are back in the GSL Code S. Hero has won 2-1 versus Trap. Quick update, Hero just spilled water on his keyboard.
Yeah, apparently.
We just discovered that a minute ago. So we don't know if his keyboard's now broken or what the deal is, but that's bad. That's not good. So he might have to finish today out with a different keyboard. That sucks, man, but what are you going to do? You know?
Yeah. It can be an issue. If you spill water, you don't want to use that keyboard anymore, especially if it's a mechanical, man. Oh my God. I used the Leopold 10 keyless. It's like the best board I have ever used other than the QCen DT35. But like, it's a magnificent keyboard. It costs like $120 or something.
Yeah.
Spilt a glass of water on one, and I had to buy a new one. I was like, I can't even believe it did not work. It stopped working.
Horrible.
The buttons would stick, and just some of them didn't.
I spilled ramen on one of my old keyboards, and I'm like, oh my God. You know when you like take the keyboard and you hold it upside down on your desk, and all that water starts pouring out, and you're like, oh man, this sucks.
Yeah, and I hate using keyboards that aren't like the keyboard I'm used to. So I have to wait like 3-4 days to deliver a new one.
What kind of switches do you use on your keyboard?
Brown, because I like to actually play games.
I love blue switches, man.
You love blue switches?
Clickety clack.
Listen to me. I'm a loud gamer. Click clack, click 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 clack.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Shut up.
When Tasis plays StarCraft, it sounds like there are horses running on a marble floor.
I bet you got lights in your keyboard too.
I do.
Oh my
Dude, if I turn on the lights in my room, it looks like a Skittles commercial's going on, man. My keyboard's lighting up. I actually got my
Taste the rainbow. Shut up, bad keyboard.
No, man, and I on my tower PC, I've got all the different laser lights. Like when I was getting it built, I'm like, I want this to look like a Daft Punk concert whenever I'm playing at my computer.
This guy's a little Daft Punk motorcycle helmet on.
Yeah, I'm playing with a helmet. It's really bad. I can't quite see anything.
Oh man. Oh no. I tell you, I have the most basic stuff ever, man. But anyways,
that's why we're the Archon.
Completely different.
All right, guys, we are going into our second best of three. Ryuk versus Leenock. Let's do this. In the upper right, in the blue, he is
Leenock.
Love that guy.
His English is quite good, actually. In the bottom left, in the red, he is
TES Gaming. Young.
His English is quite well tasteless. His Korean's even better, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But
all these guys have really good Korean.
Leenock has been streaming up a storm. LVN41, I think it is, on Twitch.
Yeah.
Been watching a lot of him. There's like no Protoss streamer, so I just watch him in Innovation.
Don't forget about Rotterdam Artosis.
Oh, of course.
You got to be there watching the Roddy stream.
Oh, I love the
doing
Roddy
his crazy
stream.
Roddy builds.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about Rotterdam, guys, he's just a greeny guy.
He's a
grinny guy.
Oh, my God.
I was watching...
No one grins like he grins.
His Nation Wars, I was just looking at Rotterdam's face, and he's got this, like... First of all, Rotterdam is way too handsome to be an RTS player, okay?
Yeah.
This is like I look at Rotterdam and I'm like...
Well, to be fair, he played Orcs and Protoss, so, like, yeah, we're, like, right on the line there.
But, you know, whenever you're watching Rotterdam, it's just, you look at him and you're like, hey, he's happy to be there.
Yeah.
You know? He's a grinny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He totally is, though. You're very right about that.
Now, got a good stream, too.
Very fun to watch him.
And look,
little Nady Poo too.
I was about to say, you know, I can't leave Nathanius out.
Yeah.
You got to get your healthy dose of memes in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of good streamers actually for StarCraft right now. Like not just like I really enjoy watching the Korean pros play, but actually, I don't know if you ever watch him, but M Canning, one of my favorite streams. Yeah. He makes the best tweets out of anybody.
I actually lurk at a lot of streams. People don't know that.
You do watch a lot of streams.
I watch a lot of streams. I usually don't interact with the chat.
Yeah.
So you guys behave yourself. Sometimes I see people talking about Tasteless in the chat, and I'm like,
I like to know. Yeah.
Because the only chat I never see is the GSL one because I'm casting. But
the only chat that I really do is if I've had a couple glasses of wine, Tasteless, I'll talk in the Base Trade TV chat. I have a good time in that one. Yeah. Oh, a Reaper opening. You might kill a Ling. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Streams. Yeah. A lot of good ones out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of great streams to follow.
Yeah.
And actually, on Afrika, there's a ton of great Brood War streams. Even if you don't speak
You don't
speaking
need to.
in Korean. You don't really need to.
It's an awesome thing to watch. You can definitely check those out. Like if you're not familiar with the Freaka website, the Team Liquid has all the StarCraft 1 guys, on the sidebar.
Yeah,
so it's like a really easy
actually
way to peruse.
Pretty astounding the number of people that are watching Brood War.
Yeah.
Although it's mostly Korean viewers, when you actually add up the numbers, and then to go to like a Twitch page and see how many people are watching other stuff, this means like StarCraft 1 is still one of the most watched games.
Yeah. The eSport as well as the
StarCraft 2, is obviously also watched quite a lot, but it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's really fun though. I mean, the 2 best games ever. There you go.
Yeah,
There
absolutely.
You have it. Proof positive. It's not proof when the viewers for League is bigger, but when the viewers for this is bigger, it sure is proof.
I got to say, I'm super bothered by so many people in fighting over it's getting fusion core orthosis.
Yeah, that's crazy. Whoa. It's either Liberator range or BCs, right? So,
what if you look over there and it's actually
range.
Nathanias playing and he's making BCs?
Yeah.
Nathanias has snuck into the GSL Code S.
Oh my gosh.
Security is trying to come over there and grab him, but he's already Yamatoing all those guards down because he's got the BCs. Whoa.
Oh, man. Well, they just showed all the places that they're going to want to go. Oh, my God.
Oh, man, that is some premium damage right there. Well, this is going to allow whatever the Fusion Core switch into to be very effective. That was a lot more drones than I think any of us were expecting to get hit there.
11 drones. That is a huge victory for him. So as this Reaper live for a moment, but there's a lot of good places you can put Liberators on this map that you can't hit with ground. And then if they have range, they can hit the drones mining as well. So that is going to force Leenock into a terrible position.
Ryung is back, guys. He's been playing very well this GSL.
Yeah, he got round of 4 last year, right? Didn't Byun knock him out in the round of 4? Am I wrong, or is it round of 8?
It was either last year or the year before that.
No. Last year, when Byun won, it was Ryung versus Byun.
Was it?
TVT.
You got a good memory, yeah.
Round of 8 or round of 4. I can't quite, for some reason, my brain is bugging out. Like, I know Deer was in the round of 4. SOS was in the round of 4. Byun... Or was it Deer? Yeah, I think it was. Anyways, whatever. I don't care.
Tosis with a memory that's almost as good as that of an elephant.
My memory is almost like a trap, but not quite.
He is going to be headed northbound with that Liberator, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to sneak around behind the main, and Spores won't hit it, Queens won't hit it. It's like this invincible area until you get flying units, so that's going to be pretty tough. And Spore on the way. Leenock is starting to make some roaches. This could force Leenock into like an all-in type situation, but Ryung is going for mech. He's still making Liberators, making more factories as well. I think it's going to be basically impossible to bust him. Like this should give Ryung a very solid lead. I think he's chosen his strategy very wisely here.
Well, especially with those Hellions coming in there and doing that much damage like that, that was brilliant. All right, trouble time. You're in some trubs. Trub-bubs.
Trub-bubs.
Trub-bubs, son.
All right. Well, the Hellions going up towards the front there. A lot of roaches in the way, so can't really get anything done. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Oh.
That's what he's going to do.
Okay, well,
he's like, watch this.
That one got hit. That was
not supposed to happen.
Quite as well. But.
In a perfect game, that doesn't happen. But
yeah. But look, this is what I was talking about before with this one. Like, look at that, man. The Spore's trying its best, can't do it. Oh, now he just switches back and forth.
Switching up, more Trub-bubs.
Yeah, and he switches at his own leisure, right? Look at that.
Trub-wubs over here.
Okay, finally some Ravagers going to come in.
And that is the end of the Liberator. Perfect number of corrosive vials there.
That was super good, though. 9 kills right there after 11 kills earlier on. He's going mech behind this, and it's like Roach Tech for a Zerg player, so that's like so rough.
Everything's setting up quite nicely. We have more Hellions coming in. 14 drones now, 16 have been annihilated.
Oh, man.
Really good handling. I mean, Leenock is just trying to get back on his own feet here.
Reposition the Spore.
Oh, never mind. I thought he was actually continuing to move forward there. Well, this is great. Look, I mean, he's keeping Zerg pretty beat up. Worker count right now is 58 to 65, so tearing in a worker lead, and we haven't even factored mules in yet. And he's meching along this. So, a lot of times when you're meching, one of the disadvantages that you fundamentally have is that you're not really doing anything. And sometimes, a really good macro player just bolts ahead.
Yeah. there's no way for Leenock to get like a big advantage here because it's mech, right?
That's
Because
right.
normally because it's mech, you can do things like take a bunch of bases, get your Vipers out, get the type of units that you actually want to play with. But here he's done so much damage to this economy and continues to do so that Leenock is like scrambling to even get a 4th base.
Uh-oh, run. Oh, no.
That one's dead.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, good job. Got to stay on top of those Liberators.
Don't you think Liberators should be able to hit spores when they unburrow?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think so.
I think that's just messed up.
Because they're
can't
like
do it.
basically a unit.
I also think that siege tanks in siege mode should hit air units, guys. That's just my personal take.
And they should be able to move in siege mode.
You just come in,
Slowly,
you just siege up, and the splash damage destroys everything. That's the only way
man.
you can make this game just 1% better, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Could kill the observer that's with your
He
Colossus.
scans and just shoots down the observer.
So funny.
We are nerds, man.
Yeah,
We are serious nerds.
that's true.
Well, we have Hydras now being teched out.
Yeah, and he's going for Hive as well, so definitely going to be wanting to get Vipers to go with that.
Yeah.
Use some Ducks and Blinding Clouds and whatnot to try to screw up the mech army here of Ryung, but Ryung is kept up in supply and is doing very well as far as bases go. He's going into his own 4th base at the gold. And this just makes it so tough because normally you'll be ahead in this situation and you're trying to be efficient enough against the mech, but that's going to be very tough to pull off.
I'm excited to be seeing Thors walking around. Feels like we
Yeah.
haven't had enough Thors in GSL lately.
Yeah, that's true.
Continuing to do the harass here. Seems like some of the later harass that's happened here from Ryung has not had that much momentum, but I got to say, man, Ryung is really, I think, doing a really cool job with overall the harass and just the teching here. I'm wondering how practiced Leenock is against this style of play. Uh-oh, here we go.
Mech definitely not as popular as some of the ones. Oh god, this is not where he wants to be right now.
Wow.
Losing a few extra units.
We have some corrosive biles coming out. Nice dodge here by Ryung, but completely deflecting that attack there. And not too long from now, it looks like Ryung is going to be maxing out.
Yeah, but the Vipers are going to come out, so that does give Leenock another chance here to make something happen between Blinding Clouds and Abducts. Maybe can start to whittle down some of these units, but Ryung is pushing, and this is going to be really, really strong coming up.
Hellions now coming in, and there's nothing to defend. A lot of these drones taking a good amount of damage. He doesn't quite have the number of kills just yet. Okay, actually that was very well handled there by Leenock. That could have been much worse.
But during that time, some more creep getting cleaned up, scanning forward, pushing forward with this mech army. Vipers should be charged up on energy now, so it's time for Leenock to try to make some sort of move here.
Siege tank sieging up as Ryung is beginning to edge in to the turf of Leenock. Leenock trying to max out. Actually, excuse me, he is maxed out now. He's going to have to try to engage this as best he can. The Viper's just getting a little bit more energy before this fight fully commences. But Leenock already taking some bruises there from the siege tank firing as he pulls his army back.
Oh, that is a great Blinding Cloud stopping for those siege tanks for the time being. A huge arc comes in here from Leenock. Going to get on top of those, but there are so many siege tanks in the back. That is a lot of Hydras, though.
Yeah, he's trying to push forward here, but that's one of the problems when you're facing off against a Terran that has a lot of tanks is you never know exactly how many tanks are back there. It might look like you're starting to win the fight, and as you keep edging, you're like, is that 4 more tanks behind the 4 more tanks that we just saw?
Well, that's how you lose a game right there.
Yeah.
There's 4 more tanks behind.
That's the story of losing to Terrans. I just didn't realize he had that many tanks.
Well,
but
Leenock, he did a better job on that fight than I thought he would, to be honest.
Yeah, he did a lot of damage. And he knew exactly when to pull the Hydras away.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Now, Ryung is taking an additional base, continuing to macro up pretty well overall. Definitely needs to get a bigger army with those siege tanks. So I actually feel like this might be a mistake having all his units. Like, maybe he should pull back a little bit and remax or something. Because if he loses all these forward siege tanks, then, I think that's going to be game for Leenock.
Well, that's the tightrope walk of mech is you have this really scary army, but if you screw up with it and lose too much of it, it takes the entire game to get that many units. It's why we don't see it as much as, frankly, mech has always been hard to do.
Yeah.
There's a real art form to it.
Well, he's definitely down a lot in supply at the moment, producing a hell of a lot of units. Getting that Banshee speed, when you get into that, that is a fantastic upgrade against Zerg. You just really can't catch the Banshees. And continuing this little slow push. A lot of Vikings here as well to push back the Vipers, because that really is the counter that Zerg has.
I got to say, this hard contain here with the turrets and everything else set up, it's scary, but I mean, it's not actually hitting anything yet.
Yeah.
Normally, if you have a hard contain set up in any iteration of StarCraft and it's not doing that much for a little bit, it can be a bad sign.
Yeah.
Because you need to be putting the pressure on. He edges forward with the tanks, but that's exactly how you want to handle mech. Because when you see a few siege tanks unsiege and you know they're going to siege up, you run in, you shoot down as much as you can, and then you pull back out.
Oh, well, he tries to chase that down. The Viper does get it, but a Blinding Cloud goes off, so at least he trades it for a Viking. Not really a great trade, though. Continued push forward here from Ryung. Banshee's continuing to be produced, and 3-3 going to be finishing up, coming up here. But look, he's like kind of bleeding into Leenock right now. He's got to be careful. Like that Thor, a little bit too far forward. Maybe it got abducted. I didn't get to see that. We kind of jumped over at the last second.
Banshees are beginning to get amassed up here, 2 at a time. Greater Spire Tech is on the way, which could be a tremendous threat to mech. Mech certainly doesn't run away very well.
No, it certainly does not. Unsiege your tanks and run. That's like, yeah, tanks die.
You're basically going to lose everything.
Yeah, you're pretty committed
with
with those
out there. Okay,
you know what we should do? Make it so you can pick them up with medevacs when they're siege. That would be a good fix to that.
More blinding clouds coming down. Does Leelock have enough? Has he blinded the right number of tanks? It doesn't seem. Wait, hold on. Is he actually going to bust this? Hold on.
Not quite.
As we zoom back, we see more tanks further and further back here.
Yeah.
And Hydras are fairly brittle in moments like this.
Ooh, doesn't quite get that last siege tank there.
GG. Leenock taps out. Nicely done by Ryung.
Yeah, that was well done. But you know what? Leenock fought extremely well considering how many drones were lost early on. Remember, like the first 4 or 5 Hellions killed 11 drones, and then we got 9 off of a couple Liberators with range, and then some more Hellions came and killed like 16 more drones. It was pretty brutal early game for him.
Yeah. Very well handled there by Ryung. You know, he did so much damage early on that really allowed the mech to be so strong in the late game. Meching is not easy, and Ryung really showed us how to do it there.
Yeah, he's a very good mech player against Zerg. He still uses it quite often. I mean, if you just watch some Ryung games in various tournaments, he busts it out more often than pretty much anyone.
That's right.
Him and Gumiho very well known for their likings of mech in the matchup.
All right, guys. Map number 2 is going to be on Daybreak. Let's see if Leenock can bring us a better game. He's going to have solid defense early on. Ryung really doing a great job with those Hellions, taking out so many drones. Will Ryung mech this time, or is he going to go back to more orthodox TVZ, medic Marine, or medic Marine medevac?
Yeah, it's hard to say what he wants to pull out, but the map is Daybreak Tasteless. Here we go.
Here we go. One more time.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Here we go. In the upper right, in the blue, he is
Leenock.
Still teamless somehow. Don't understand it. If you own a team, send him an offer.
In the bottom left, in the red, he is
TES Gaming. Ryung.
It's going to be very tough. If Leenock falls here, Trap is really good PvZ right now. Really, really, really strong. Like, not just strong, but solid strong, which I think is pretty tough for Zergs in general right now.
Make it happen.
Just in general, so I think Leenock. I'm going to go out on a what do you call it when you go out
on a limb?
On a limb. There we go. On a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb for a moment and say,
happy birthday!
Oh yeah.
This is probably the best way to spend your birthday.
For sure. That's all I wanted. But yeah, I would go out on a limb and say that maybe Leenock would feel more comfortable against Hero than against Trap. Because I think Trap, like, we saw Trap's PvZ, and this guy will not overstretch himself trying to kill you. Hero makes things messy in every matchup, right? So that's like kind of an area where Leenock is pretty good too, stylistically speaking. Whereas Trap will be like, no, you know what? Here I have Psystorm. Oh, and now guess what I'm going for? Carriers. Ha!
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I think a Zerg like Leenock has a little bit of a harder time against just kind of solid PvZ rather than like messy PvZ.
Yeah, well, like, I think you're right. Like, Hero's a pretty tricky player. Like, if he was an RPG class, he'd be a thief for sure.
Yeah, he looks like it even.
But I think Trap is more of the warrior class. Maybe he's barbarian even.
You think so?
Could be barbarian.
Gosh. I don't know, Tasteless. That's a strong statement there.
Who would be a mage? Who's the mage in StarCraft 2?
Mage.
Because we had this a while ago with Street Fighter. Like, which StarCraft players, which Street Fighter character? Like, MVP was Ryu for sure.
Yeah. Well, for
Ryung maybe
RPG,
Ken right now. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, whoever is
Beyond is definitely Akuma.
One abusive build they keep using.
MC was Zangief for sure.
Yeah, for sure he was.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good question.
Hero is for sure Blanca.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mix-ups and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
But who's Dalsum? Think about that one, guys. Who's Dalsum? Is it Dalsim? Dalsum?
Dalsim. It's definitely not Dalsim. Dalsim, what?
Who's Dalsum?
Give me a second here. Give me a second. I'm thinking.
It's not easy, is it?
It would be someone pretty turtly, right?
It has to be someone who turtles.
Yeah. So who's very turtly at the moment? Who plays like really long games all the time? I'm having a hard time. Like Rain would have been a good Dalsim type.
Yeah, Rain's Dalsum.
But I mean, he's gone. He's a StarCraft 1 player now. That traitor.
And Artosis is Dan.
For sure. In so many ways.
Yeah. All right. We have the third command center about to finish. Well, excuse me, it just now finishes up. As those Hellions have come back there to wipe out those Lings that were there to check and see what exactly Terran was up to. We have the Roach Warren starting and Stim now beginning here for Ryung.
Yeah, so definitely not going for mech this time. That'd be cool, though, if you could stim Hellions, right? That'd be... Yeah, I think
that's what we need to be able to do.
Stim Hellions.
I think you should be able to stim siege tanks in siege mode.
Oh my gosh.
They just lose a little bit of HP and they're firing really fast.
Yeah, you just have an SCV next to it repairing it.
Yeah. All of GSL is just TVT.
It used to be that way. Once upon a time. Remember when we would have like just ridiculous amounts of Terrans?
Back when we were at GOM TVT?
Yeah.
So,
once again, ranged attack here for Leenock.
This time around, Ryung not going to go for that mech style of play.
No.
Playing that very vanilla Marine medevac style. And it works. It absolutely works.
Yeah. Will he be as good at it? And here's the thing. Leenock should have more practice against it, obviously, as this is the more common style to go against. But Leenock, like, the thing is, people don't always play like they do in their stream. Normally they're hiding some stuff when they're streaming publicly from what they're going to do in GSL.
Sure.
We've definitely seen that time and time again with the guys that are streaming and have done well. So I just wonder if Leenock is giving a nod towards Ryung's, penchant for mech by going for roaches to open, as opposed to, just a Ling Bane type of opening that it might be a little bit more common.
By the way, it's not every player can mech.
No.
There are Terran players who are really good that can't even touch mech.
Yeah.
It does go to, really show the range of play styles that we can have here.
Certainly the case. But, this is a pretty slow opening overall. Like, no one is going to be able to do too much damage early on. That third command center already floating over for Ryung. Getting the double upgrades for both sides. A little bit slower in that armor here for Leenock.
How do you think Ryung's going to do this time around in the push? Because I think Leenock's much better not against mech.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like the thing that was so brilliant about Ryung winning that first game was that Leenock didn't even play the game he wanted to play.
I think that Leenock is already in an okay position here, right? Like, he is making some extra units right now, so I wonder if he's planning on attacking. He's actually starting +2 range, so that was something I was absolutely not expecting. But if Ryung plays a very turtley game, he should be fine, right? Because this is a big committal into Roaches and possibly Hydras later on.
We have the drops inbound right now. Looks like they're going to be headed towards the main. The creep spread is very good. We'll have to see if he can't get a Queen Assassinate or anything like that. That drop's going to come in there in a minute. We saw the Lings and Ravagers outside the soon-to-be 4th base of Leenock.
This drop comes in. A couple Widow Mines going down as well. The Lings coming in, trying to draw. Oh, my God, that was a sick drag.
Whoa.
Wow, that was
awesome.
Perfectly cleaned up.
Really nicely done.
Yeah. That was about as good as you could have possibly gotten cleaning that one up. Okay, he's actually kind of in the middle of the map with quite a few units here. Has to back up. That 4th base going to be taken with ease here by Leenock. And based on the units that we're seeing out of Leenock, if you're playing against someone that's just going a massive upgrade to like Roach Ravager and stuff, I mean, there is a school of thought where you can kind of attack in like Byun and just consistently target units down, but Ryung hasn't done that in the early game. And he's gone for, like, he's got Hellbats here. I don't think that's really all that helpful, to be honest. So I would like to see him sit back and really turtle against this and get a higher unit count, so that he can just destroy the Roaches that lose value over time.
Well, for the time being, he's keeping the pressure on. Although, he's actually going to back up now. I agree with you, Artosis. I think you punish what he's invested in by doing that.
Yeah.
If you back up.
Yeah, a second factory on the way, so maybe some mass siege tanks going to be coming out to really hurt this. But with the Infestation Pit coming up, I would imagine he's going to get some Infestors for Fungal plus Corrosive. It's always a good combo.
Okay, he's coming up now. Widowmine hit's not quite connecting. Does take out that one Widowmine as Leenock is beginning to push forward. Looks like the drop was deflected as well.
Yeah, cleaning up a lot of these Widow Mines with those Corrosive Biles as well. Continue to march forward, and Ryung does not really have the set of units that he wants to defend against this at the moment. That is a lot of Ravagers.
Okay, he's coming in here right now. This base is naked. He's going to have to lift this up. SCV's being evacuated. These depots going down for free as Leenock is forcing Ryung to respect the army that he has built up on the map.
Yeah, good play here out of Leenock. Definitely taking this huge tempo advantage and an advantage overall. But with that second factory, I really want to see what Ryung is producing. Yeah, okay, a Siege Tank just popped on to the unit tab, so maybe going to go into mass Siege Tanks. He's got to bring this to a very late game if he's going to win here on Daybreak.
That's right. Well, he's in this defensive position. This command center is almost killed off, by the way. Whoa! Coming in here, though, and the Zerg army does not have any goodwhere to move. This is a brilliant surround here. Look at this. Coming in here now and crushing these Roaches and Ravagers, and they are now retreating to where the 3rd base was, which means reinforcements can actually wipe out, the remaining parts of this army.
Yeah, that was super well done to pin Leenock against those minerals there. And now Leenock's suddenly in trouble after such a strong opening. That was not very efficient how he lost those units.
He's in trouble. He's brought Leenock to Trubtown.
To Trubtown?
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's going to walk him down Trouble Lane in a moment here.
Yeah,
if he pushes
man.
the high ground above that 4th.
Right after he gets off at Grand Central Trub Station.
On the top of Trouble Hill?
Yeah. Just past Trouble Way.
Just past Trouble Way.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing town to live in. Like, wait, was it Way or Lane? I can't keep these straight in my head. They all mean the same thing. No, next to Trouble Parkway. Jeez. Don't you know anything? Oh, that's a big bungle right there.
Oh, my God! He just had a fantastic bungle. That's going to completely change momentum here in this game. He picks up, boosts, and gets out as Leenock has now reasserted dominance on the map.
This is kind of a crazy back and forth game. The Viper actually on the way. He has gone all the way up into Hive. +2 Carapace about to finish as well. Leenock pushing across the map. A mostly Roach army, so he's got to be careful. If we see another huge arc again, those Roaches can die very quickly.
We have more Roaches now coming down here from above. And he's actually doing a great job. This surround is fantastic. In fact, Leenock may be knocked back to the point of no return here. Yeah, that's it, GG. He's not going to get a 3rd base up with that much pressure on the map. That bungle.
That bungle's sick. And, even just the initial Roach Ravager push was really good. It was a great kind of arc that Ryung made. But that counterattack, you're playing against a 4-base player. Like, even though you were so cost efficient there, just was not enough. The fungal destroyed him completely.
Ryung brought Leenock to Trubtown, and it turns out Excuse me, no, Ryung brought to Trouble Town, but then Leenock turned out to be the mayor of Tough Town.
Wow.
He had the key to the city.
Yeah, I guess he did.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if he has a key to Trouble City in this game as well. Tasteless.
Game 3 is going to Trouble City, boys.
Yeah.
Let's get ready.
Looks like our map is Trouble Valley.
We're so late. Yeah. We're going to find out who's the superhero, who's the supervillain.
Yeah.
What if Leenock's like, you'll never find all the bombs in time, Ryung? Batman. Guys, we are going into game number 3. It's tied up 1-1. Leenock versus Ryung. In a fight to go to the winner's match, the GSL Code S. In the bottom left, in the blue, he is
Leenock.
You didn't see that thing on Reddit, right? With Lady Gaga did the Super Bowl halftime show. Did you see the Super Bowl halftime show? It's
No, I didn't.
She actually did a really good job.
Yeah.
In the upper right, in the red, he is.
TES Gaming.
But somebody took a photo of her when she's starting to sing, and Lady Gaga's always in these like kind of wild outfits.
Yeah.
And someone just put the caption, "You'll never find all the bombs in time, Batman."
That's so funny.
And then I saw somebody linked to an article in The Onion that's from like 2012, and the Onion article says, Lady Gaga kidnaps Commissioner Gordon.
That's funny. I like
so
that.
good, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Actually,
some funny people out there.
Anytime I hear anything about Lady Gaga, I just think back to that skit with Gary Gaga, I think was his name, like her brother that's a policeman.
That was like Nick,
he wears
Nick
a swan
Swartzen.
house.
Yeah, I'm Larry Gaga.
Swan hat,
I'm a
yeah.
cop.
Oh man, that was funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Well, are we going to see mech this time? I'm guessing no, just because of the way this map is shaped.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you can get a good position with the mech army. I think they're going to go around you or get a surround on you.
Probably, but to be fair, if Ryung did go into mech play and could get up to the speed banshees in reasonable position, it'd be hard for Leenock to keep fringe bases alive. Very, very hard. Like, try to chase down speed banshees with corruptors. It just will never happen.
Yeah, you can be pretty abusive with that. So let's see. And of course, Leenock did really flex his muscle in Game 2 against Bio. So maybe Ryung's actually in a little bit of trouble here.
Could be.
I think Ryung was not playing that game properly when we saw those roaches out. I think there was definitely some moments where he was pushing out too much. Having some bad trades.
Certainly. I mean, when you're playing against roaches, you have to play like a very different style. If you're picking them off very early, like you'll see a lot of the ways that Beyond deals with things is he'll just kind of out-micro you early on, target each roach individually, put out maximum damage, right? So you can't keep up on that type of production. But if the Zerg kind of gets out of control, quote-unquote, and it gets a big amount of roaches, you kind of just have to go into the late game. You don't want to play like roaches are very strong early on, just like adepts, just like you know these kind of lower range, strong early game units don't transition well as the game techs up and you start to max out. They can't all fire. They clump up a lot, and it's just he didn't really do that. He just kind of was like, oh, I'll just play like this is like Ling Bane or something.
Okay, so we have the 2 Hellions now out, and they are going to begin to push. We'll see if the Lings can get away from these Hellions, because they can't really do anything to fight against them. Ling speed almost done here as the Hellion pressure picks up. Now let's not forget in Game 1, in Game 1, Ryung did a great job taking out workers with those Hellions. He had really good Hellion harass.
Yeah.
If he can do something like that in Game 1, I think that Ryung is going to be in good shape with Bio later on.
Oh, absolutely agree with that. If you kill that many drones early on, you should just have the advantage. I don't think that's going to happen, though, right? Because the map is so long. When he runs across the Hellions, you have those extra rounds of time to kind of be ready.
This is our biggest map, right? In the pool currently? It has to be.
Well, this is basically this is the longest map. Like, it takes light 3 minutes to get from one main to the other. It's
a very long travel distance. And it actually makes for some great epic late games. Okay, one Reaper does come up, and it looks like he's not going to be able to get too much done here.
Yeah, just
here we go.
Lings coming out. There's not a lot of Lings, though, and these Hellions might actually get a lot more value than we were thinking they might.
Well, he's got to get the kills, though. He can't just damage these workers.
7. All right, 7. That's not too bad.
That's a lucky number.
Whoa.
Wow.
You get 7 the most on dice. That means it's lucky.
So, see the evolution chamber wall coming up here.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, that was decent harass. But, you know, that was also 4 Hellions that were taken out there.
Well, Hellion Banshee is the order of the day at the moment.
That's right.
An Armory on the way as well, so definitely going to see some Hellbats, and this could possibly be mech. If it's not mech, then it's extremely late switching to bio.
Yeah. So
And with 2 more gases on the way before more Rexes, this is mech, in fact.
Cool. Let's do it. Now, we were saying earlier, guys, both Artosis and myself are a little bit skeptical of mech on this map. Like, I guess if you're good enough with mech, you can make it work almost anywhere, but this seems like a tough map to actually pull it off.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, the Zerg should be able to have anything it wants to try to deal with it. And as we saw in the first game on Proxima Station, even though Leenock was behind early on, like by quite a bit, losing so many workers, he still like was fighting well against it. So I think that this game is going to be like that again, right? Where he's just going to fight pretty well against it, and like the Terran push to come across the map. Like, where do you do that push? Zerg gets to choose. Are they going to counterattack you? You're much more immobile, right? It's just not as easy to cut this map up, I guess.
Banshees are going to be coming around now. Leenock is cognizant of this threat. Here they come, hitting these few drones. He has to stay out of the range of the Spore, especially the Spore comboed with the Queens. If the Banshees do overextend, they are going to be shot down pretty easily. And Hellions are now coming in.
Oh.
That was not blocked at the double Evo wall.
Yeah, the door was wide open right there, and now the Hellions starting to get some kills here. This is actually a huge deal.
The drones are already a little bit softened up. You can see he's trying to make another wall. More retreating drones in a line here.
Oh, boy.
And it looks like, yes, he's going to get even more. 12 kills. 1 Hellion still in the game. Can he get... No, he cannot get that last shot off.
Well, 12 kills. That's a pretty big deal. He's doing a good job. He's lost 12 Hellions and killed 21 drones, as we see there. And the harassment will continue at least a little bit, with these Banshees just continually being made. Second Armory on the way. Some Siege Tanks being added in as well to make sure he's not just going to die to a counterattack. And this game, because he didn't go for something like Ranged Liberators early on, he's going to have just like a stronger ground army overall, which means that it's like he'll have the bigger army a little bit quicker, and he's done pretty good damage against the drones.
Yeah. This game, in some ways, beginning to look a little bit like what we saw in Game 1. Let's see when and where he decides to push, and what the proper response is going to be here from Leenock.
Well, Leenock continuing to upgrade his Roaches, Ravagers, Queens, and Hydras.
Really well-placed Spore over here. But drones immediately are going to be pulled. Between the Queen and the Spore up here, it's not easy for these Banshees to actually get to their objective, which is that drone line.
Yeah, single cloak right there to switch the target of which Banshee's being attacked. Overseer flying around, scouting a little bit, with the Viking going to push it back for the time being.
He's not stopping with these Banshees either. He's got 3 of them out right now. You keep in mind, when you're on a map this big, spreading the creep is a lot of manual labor on that Zerg's part.
Yeah,
so
that's definitely true.
I wouldn't say the Zerg's creep spread is bad, but you're going to have to get pretty far out to get the creep spread to where you're really fighting hard. And creep spread probably even more so important against a mech army. You know, mech. The thing that makes mech so scary, guys, is first of all, it always deals its damage first in a fight.
Yeah, it's
think
just
of any army that you have that's running into something. What is shot first? What's taking damage first? Mech always deals that damage because siege tanks have siege mode. I know somebody's going to be like, "What about Brewlords?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about a big ground army that's engaging each other, not a situation where some units cannot attack other units. All right.
With our proposed fixes of the siege tank, though, to let it hit air units, so that would fix the Brewlord problem.
Once Blizzard accepts my post on the Battle.net forums that siege tanks and siege mode need to hit air units, guys, that would make this game so much better. So, whenever you have a big mech army, that deals so much damage. it's really important that you're able to have as many of your units as possible actually hit the mech units.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you'll see this especially in TVT with Marines. You'll stim and run at a bunch of tanks, and like a fourth of the army is annihilated before it ever pulls the trigger on its gun.
Exactly, and that's why it is such a cost-efficient unit comp. But
yeah,
Leenock is teching up right now towards Vipers, and that's where you can really kind of mess with mech a bit, right? Because at the same time, while these units do so much damage, they cost more too. So like if you abduct one, for instance, that's a pretty valuable usage of the spell. It's a little bit slow, so if Karen's pushing you hard, though, you have to utilize more things like Blinding Clouds and, get in there, just do whatever trades you can to make the army small enough that it can't continue to push you so you can continue to macro up.
Yeah, when you're facing off against a mech army, one of the ways to try to get ahead is to dismantle certain parts of it. If you can isolate a tank and kill it, you're going to be in good shape. These units are only good when they're bunched up.
Yeah.
And, if you have, like, for instance, Vipers or something like that, you can actually begin to do stuff like that, too.
Well, he's going to be having those pretty soon, though. He's almost done with the Hive right now. Running around with the Roaches and Hydras a little bit. Seeing what he can get done. It's not much with this Planetary here and a wall on the other side. Good amount of siege tanks out as well.
These Roaches not able to do that much. We talked about this a long time ago, but I think this is an appropriate time to bring it up again. You ever notice that Thors have Ninja Turtle feet?
Yeah, no, I have noticed
They've got Ninja Turtle feet.
What kind of feet do siege tanks have?
They don't have feet. That's the problem. They have wheels.
Well, when they go in siege mode, they get like little feet that come out.
You can just get the perfect kind of sandals and put them on a Thor.
Yeah.
You could see
those
it.
Like
you
samurai
can't
sandals.
see those Ninja Turtle feet once you look at them.
Sanderize.
Yeah.
Banshee's still being so annoying.
He's pushing forward now, and this mech army is no joke. Does Zerg have enough? And can Zerg get in a good angle?
Ooh.
Here we go. He's coming up now.
God. That choke.
That was bad.
If you run into that choke, you are the game is over. Those siege tanks, oh my God.
It's going to be like moving your Zerg army through a wheat thresher? Is that what you call it?
Something even worse than that.
Yeah.
Like right now,
whatever they threw that guy in Fargo, that's what you're going to be. That's what it's going to look like here.
They have the fact that the mech has gotten into this position. These little chokes, Zerg cannot really fight in.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really utilized the mobility of this Zerg army that much, right? Like he was kind of forced back into this spot. Very well done here. Oh God, it looks like he was in the back with Brood Infestors.
Whoa, he's actually losing too many little bits and pieces of his units.
Yeah.
Also, guys, the angle that everything hits at is super important against mech, especially. You can't have your whole army coming in from one angle. Or you want to hit from all the different sides, so splash damage is oh my God, he's still losing more stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rally point or what, but this is getting absolutely brutal. Like, if he somehow suddenly had 20 mutas, he'd be okay. No, 30 Hydras right now. A bunch of them just hatched. So this push is going to be so hard. The Viper's flying up front.
Here we go. Viper does go down. Hydra's trying to push in. Thor in the front, taking a lot of that damage. So many siege tanks here in the back. How far is Leenock going to push? He's not even going to push. GG. Ryung wins that 2-1.
Very good timing push by Ryung before the Vipers were actually out and ready.
Taking them to Trouble City.
Oh, man.
From Trouble Town to Trouble City. He's living in a Troubletopia.
Trouble City, man. Where the mech is trouble and the girls are pretty.
Yeah.
So, solid victory there by Ryung. Very tough series for Leenock, falling to mech twice. But that was a good timing push. Leenock's defense against Hellions a little bit off in the series, I would say. And now he's got a really tough road ahead of him. He has to play against Trap, who's a fantastic Protoss vs. Zerg player.
We are going to go to a short break. When we return, our best of 3 to decide who will escape this group. This GSL Code S group. We'll be back in just a little bit.
That was Sam.